Welcome to the Two Guys in a Cooler channel. Today we are going to be doing a 60-day dry-aged beef tongue using the steak wraps from the sausage maker. This is the easiest and best way to dry-age meat at home in your refrigerator with no special equipment required. Hands down, all you need is this. That's a special plant-based wrap, and we'll get into it in a minute. But let's look at the star of the show, the beef tongue. You know, in a lot of cultures, beef tongue is actually considered a delicacy, and sometimes you'll find it priced higher than the filet mignon. And even though the United States hasn't fully embraced the lengua de la vaca, maybe it's because it looks like a crazy shoe. Don't let that stop you. If you get a chance to try this, I highly suggest it. So what we're doing is we're rinsing it off. We're gonna get it nice and wet, nice and damp, and that's so that plant-based wrap will adhere to it properly. And that's what we're going to do here. So we just put that right in the very center. Notice that's a nice big fat cow tongue, also known as ox tongue. And we're just going to make sure that we wrap this plant-based dry aging steak wrap all over that tongue. And after every wrap, I'm just going to try to push out any air pockets. So the goal here is to try to get that wrap to completely adhere to the protein. And it really doesn't matter what it is. And you'll see in some of my future videos that you can almost dry age anything. Now, next we're going to take the elastic netting that it comes with, and we're just going to go ahead and put it right on. So if your meat is too wet, this is where you'll rip the wrap. So you just want to make sure your meat is not too wet as you put that netting on. But you could always truss it up with some string. There's our beef tongue ready for the refrigerator. And all I'm going to do is put it in an area in which I can get airflow on the top and on the bottom. And that's it. It's literally that easy. So now all we do is wait, and you can wait for however long you want. In this case, we're going to wait 60 days. So 60 days have passed, and this is what it looks like. When I processed this beef tongue 2 months ago, I didn't do anything to it. I didn't trim a single thing off of it. And that's because I know that during the process of dry aging, a pellicle is going to be formed that we're eventually going to have to cut off, much like I'm doing now. Well, in the case of a tongue, there's actually a membrane that has to be peeled off prior to eating. And so as we're removing the pellicle from the dry-aged tongue, we're also removing the membrane. It kind of works both ways. The easiest way to process really kind of any dry-aged meat is to cut your steaks first. Once you cut your steaks and lay them on their side, you can clearly see where you need to cut so you don't cut off more than you absolutely need to. And in the case of using these dry-aged steak wraps, the amount that you cut off is usually really small. And this is what our dry-aged tongue looks like once it's been cleaned up. And I wish you could smell it. It smells wonderful, earthy, cheesy, nutty, funky. It's that traditional dry-aged. It smells so appetizing. No off smells whatsoever. I'm going to cube it up, put a little salt and pepper on it, because we're going to give it a little bit of color in a cast iron skillet to get ready for the slow cooker. Now that that's done, let's work on the ingredients to flavor the stock this is going to be cooking in. All of these ingredients are going to be thrown into my magic flavor bag. So we start with garlic. Next, we're going to throw in an herb called culantro, which is a lesser known cousin of cilantro. We're also going to put in some onions, some portobello mushrooms. I've got bay leaves in there. Check this out. This is some trimmings from a 45-day dry-aged ribeye roast. We're going to put some of those in there as well as some of the bones. And there we go. Our magic flavor bag is totally full. We're going to stick that in our crock pot. And I'm going to fill it with just enough water to cover it. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our beef tongue, aka ox tongue. And then we're going to flavor it with a little bit of tomato paste, some organic, really high-quality beef stock, a little salt and pepper. And there we go. We're going to close it down, put it on low, and let it slow cook for about 8 hours. Beef tongue is incredibly tough, so you cannot try to cook this, no matter how long you dry age it, like a steak. It's not going to work. You need a low and slow type of cook to break down the collagen in the tongue, and it literally would turn into a melting meat masterpiece in your mouth. And this couldn't have come at a better time because I'm totally peckish. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make some tacos using red onions, culantro or cilantro, and a lime. I want the flavor of the meat to shine, so we're going to keep it very simple. To prepare my tortillas, I'm going to roast them over an open flame, and it's going to char them up a little bit. It's also going to give them a light smoky flavor, which is going to help elevate the dish just a little bit, but not overpower it. We're going to take that beef tongue, set it right on there, and look at that. It looks like cube steak at this point. Put some of those red onions, a little cilantro, and we're going to top it off with a little bit of lime juice. It smells wonderful. The beef stock smells incredible. Just the stock itself was very earthy and flavorful. It had a lot of richness and depth to it. So knowing that this beef tongue cooked in that stock all day, I can't wait. Okay, let's see how this tastes. Oh, wow. The dry aged flavor of that beef tongue is really coming through. And beef tongue naturally is already very flavorful, so you add a 60-day dry age element to it, this beef tongue is just outrageous. It's tender, it's juicy, full of umami, and wow, what can I say? What a way to elevate some tacos. And just as a testament to how delicious this 60-day dry aged beef tongue was, my 9-year-old and my 12-year-old came to me after we were done, and they were like, "Dad, can I have seconds?" Which is so wild, especially after I told them it was beef tongue. So there you have it. I hope you get a chance to try it out. If you do, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And we've got some really crazy projects lined up. So don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. We post new videos all the time. I think you're going to love the content. We'll see you next week.